So in this video we're going to have a look at the third and final Acclaim game in the WWF trilogy, Monday Night Raw. Before I do that, I was going to talk a little bit about Monday Night Raw because it was evolutionary, I think, in where wrestling came about in the 1990s, because it was one of the first live broadcasts of wrestling on a weekly basis. Before this, it was pre-taped matches weeks, sometimes months in advance, from house shows that were then re-recorded with commentary and sometimes green screen backgrounds of Vince McMahon and Gorilla Monsoon. And storylines used to evolve that way by, if they needed to push them on, there'd be promos from the studio and show these matches, and occasionally if a title would change hands, it would be done at a house show that would be recorded, or they'd have a Saturday night's main event. And a lot of the shows at the time, especially primetime wrestling, was done sort of like a talk show style, with Vince McMahon and the wrestlers in the studio with wrestling on in the background. I mean, there was some amazing episodes that happened of that, especially Mr. Perfect's face turn, which I think was amazing, but it just seemed quite talk showy, not about the wrestling. And then when Raw came on, that just changed everything, because it was originally had a residency at the Manhattan Center in New York, which was quite a small theatre for what wrestling was used to with the WrestleManias, and it was quite an intimate crowd. And with the entrances as well, not like before they had Titantron and the big pyrotechnics, it was about 30 feet away from the ring, and there would be like a spiral to get to the ring, and it was coming through the audience, and it just had that like raw atmosphere, which what they were looking for. And I think it worked out really well, and it definitely kicked off the Monday Night Wars, with WCW then starting their live show 2 years later with Monday Nitro. And there'd be no Monday Night War, I don't think, if they hadn't started with Monday Night Raw. And I think it basically gave the wrestling industry a shoot in the arm, which it really needed. And obviously Raw's still going on now, and nearly 30 years later it's completely unrecognisable to where it first started off. But yeah, I just wanted to have a little mention that before we go into the game. Okay, so without further ado, let's talk about and review Monday Night Raw. WWF RAW was released in November 1994 and published by Acclaim Software. This was the final game in the Acclaim trilogy of WWF games, with Super WrestleMania and Royal Rumble coming before this release. There are 6 match types in the game: one-on-one, tag team, Survivor Series and Royal Rumble. Bedlam match new to this game, which is a tornado style tag team match where both superstars are allowed in the ring at once, and a Raw Endurance, which is a cross between Survivor Series and a Bedlam tag team. There are 12 playable characters in the Mega Drive version: 1-2-3 Kid, Bam Bam Bigelow, Bret Hart, Diesel, Doink the Clown, Lex Luger, Luna Vachon, Owen Hart, Razor Ramon, Shawn Michaels, The Undertaker and Yokozuna. Hulk Hogan's not on the roster for this game, and I believe it's the first WWF game where he's absent due to him signing for WCW in the summer of that year. The roster is definitely more of a move to the new generation era, and the game itself, it's a slight improvement on the graphics from the previous games, and it has the Monday Night Raw ring aprons, and the commentators have changed to now show Jerry Lawler and Vince McMahon at the helm. The winner is also announced through the TV screens, which they had on the original Monday Night Raw format before the Titantron was introduced in 1997. All in all, it's a good addition and a fitting final game to the Acclaim trilogy. Yes, I think they've got quite a good array of wrestlers from the time, especially 123 Kid, who made his big debut on Monday Night Raw, defeating Razor Ramon, who was classed as, he'd come in as Bobby Heenan would say, a ham and egger, and he defeated him. And then he got a really big push after that, Sean Waltman, who would then become a member of the Clique. And it's cool that there's a female wrestler as well, Luna Vachon. I think she's the first female wrestler that you can play with on this these kind of games. There's one or two wrestlers that were missing. I think I'd like to have saw Virgil and maybe the Big Boss Man and Nails, but because of the steroid scandal hitting around that time, that would never have happened. But I think the lineup is really good in this, and there's quite a few iconic characters from that era. I think the Repo Man as well was very iconic around that time, where wrestlers also had jobs as well. So it would have been really cool to see them, but I'm quite happy with the roster that's on now. So yeah, so that's my third installment for the WWF games. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please leave a like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments what you thought, and if there's any other wrestling games that you remember, let me know. I'll see if I can find them. I've got a few others that I'm going to review as well, so hopefully there's some that you remember in that. But yeah, I've really enjoyed reviewing these three, and there's a lot more content I'm going to review. I love wrestling, like I said, I can talk about it for hours, so I'm going to do a lot more wrestling videos, I think. So yeah, let me know in the comments if you'd like that, and I'll see you in another video.